Good evening, everyone. Swamiji, thank you so much for kickstarting this evening for us. You know, mind management is often talked about, but I want to begin by understanding from you, why do you think it is extremely important to manage the minds, and how can we do that effectively in today's day and age?
First of all, a very good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, doesn't look like you're very happy seeing me, guys. A very good afternoon to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, sounds great now. It's a great privilege, pleasure, and honor to be here at the BT MindRush. And I remember coming here, I think, 2 years back for the 11th edition, I think, and always been a pleasure. My gratitude to Business Today for having me over again, to Mr. Puri, the BT team, all the dignitaries in the audience, and of course, all the guests here. And my congratulations to all those who will win the award this evening as well. But coming to the question, Sakshi, about why is the mind so critical and why is the mind so important in the world today? Everything that we do, all the decisions that we make are very critically and importantly based upon the stability and the calmness of our mind. Whether it's a business decision or a personal decision, without clarity, it's very hard to see the way ahead. If you see a lake, and if that lake is all churned up and it's completely turbulent, you cannot see what is at the bottom of the lake with clarity. We allow the water of the lake to settle down, and once the water settles down, there is clarity. Once there is clarity, that's when our decisions and actions are properly aligned. Which is exactly why I feel mind is a very critical component that needs to be dealt with. In a world that, I love the title Wooconomics. You know, I looked up on an AI engine, if there was a word like this existing. VUCA exists, but Wooconomics is a BTIP, looks like. You know, and we live in a world which is so volatile, and the volatility comes from the change. The change is so rapid, so quick, and the change is so unpredictable. It's quite fast, quite unpredictable. To keep up with that change, to have the agility, to have the adaptability is not as easy. Then there is you, that is the uncertainty in the VUCA, right? And the uncertainty is about the present. The uncertainty is about the future. And why does that uncertainty come? Because there is complexity. And the complexity comes from the fact that there are so many interconnected parts. Today in a global economy, there are so many interconnected parts. There are so many variables in this complex equation. So no matter how much I want to do things on my own, there are elements that are influencing me. The economics today, the financial condition today, the markets today. Because of being a coupled economy, it's going to affect us, this tremendous amount of complexity. And that complexity leads to a lot of ambiguity, right? Ambiguity because there are multiple opinions and multiple interpretations of a fact. So many interpretations. The media is giving their interpretations, thought leaders are giving their interpretations, influencers are sharing their interpretations, and in a vast array of opinions and interpretations, what is the truth? What is the fact? Becomes extremely ambiguous. So to be able to navigate this VUCA world with its volatility, with its uncertainty, with its complexity, with its ambiguity, I think needs a lot of mental and emotional resilience, which is exactly why the mind is important. Look, you can have a strategy to navigate through the turmoil, but if you don't have the inner strength, the grit, the fortitude, and the mental and emotional resilience to navigate through that turmoil, it's hard. You know, so we need strategy, but we need perspective. You can have the right strategy in place, but if you don't have the right perspective, the strategy is just there. So I do feel that the mind is very critical because inner strength, resilience, grit, fortitude matters a lot in executing that strategy. And it's not just the leaders. It's about the people whom they lead as well.
Absolutely. So mastering the mind perhaps more important than mastering the world, or at least it should come before that. You have also often talked about, servant leadership. So I want to understand, how will this aspect really help create great leaders of the future?
Right. I think when it comes to servant leadership, I just can't get the hang of when is it that leadership got related to power and authority. Leadership was always a matter of service and responsibility. When there is service and responsibility, power and authority automatically comes. But when people have authority and power without service and responsibility, the people whom they lead do not see them as an icon, as a role model, and naturally people cut corners in the vision that a leader has given to them. Sadly, leadership has become so selfish. There was a leader of a company. He came in a very fancy car, new car, and his subordinate opened the door of the car and said, "Sir, new car, fantastic, huh? Incredible car." The boss said, "If you work hard like 18 hours a day, if you work hard like 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year round, next year, I will have a better than this." You know? So the point now is, it's all about exploitation and gaining it for myself. So power, authority, exploitation, resources, my growth. Responsibility, service, space, time, your growth. Servant leadership takes into account the people whom we lead. Authoritative leadership takes into account my own self at all times. And which is why I feel when we look at servant leadership, when you take responsibility, when you care for people, Richard Branson said something beautiful. He said, you should train your people so well, that they can leave you. But you should treat your people so well that they don't want to leave you. Training empowers people, but treatment retains people. In a world where it's so hard to retain good talent, in a world which it's so hard to retain good intentioned individuals, treatment, care, empathy, compassion, growth, responsibility comes to the forefront. You don't retain people simply by giving them perks. There's a book called Drive by Daniel Pink. And in this book, Daniel Pink says that after a while, returns and monetary compensation stops driving people. The title of the book is Drive. Workplace ethics, a sense of responsibility, opportunities to grow, a sense of purpose. Every human being needs those things to be anchored to. And when one gets that, that's when a person wants to stay. Which is exactly why servant leadership shifts the focus to people, to the people whom we lead. Servant leadership shifts the focus to the drive, which is more than monetary compensation, which is more than perks, which is more than financial rewards. It's a matter of growth, it's a matter of learning, it's a matter of treatment, it's a matter of responsibility, and it's a matter of purpose and contribution. And with Gen Z, if you're leading Gen Z, #purpose seems to be like the word that they look at a lot.
Absolutely. So Swamiji, you did mention, about an 18-hour every day. There has been this ongoing debate where corporates are more and more vouching for you need to work for 70 hours a week or 90 hours per week. There's this lot of debate, and I'm sure all the organizations here are also identifying their stands as to how should they be going forward, because there is this thought process as if India needs to be the world leader, we have to work as much, and they're pushing employees. Which side of the debate would you be on, and how would you look at this debate?
Can I recite a quick Hindi poem if that's fine?
Absolutely. Pleasure.
परेशान थी पप्पू की वाइफ, सॉरी अबाउट दैट, परेशान थी पप्पू की वाइफ क्योंकि नॉन हैपनिंग थी उसकी लाइफ. पप्पू करता था दिन भर काम ही काम, उसको कभी भी नहीं मिलता था आराम. पप्पू के बॉस भी थे बड़े ही कूल, प्रमोशन को हर बार कन्वीनियंटली जाते थे भूल. काम तो करवाते थे अप अंटिल 9, कभी नहीं भूलते थे वो डेडलाइन. पप्पू भी बनना चाहता था बेस्ट, इसीलिए वो नहीं करता था रेस्ट. दिन रात करता था बॉस की गुलामी, अप्रेजल की उम्मीद में करता था सलामी. दिन गुजरे और फिर गुजरे कुछ साल, बुरा होता गया पप्पू का हाल. को अभी कुछ याद नहीं रहता था, गलती से बीवी को बहन जी कहता था। एक दिन पप्पू को समझ आया और छोड़ दी उसने प्रमोशन की मोह माया। बॉस को बोला, यूं क्यों सुताते हो, अप्रेसल का लड्डू दिखा के उल्लू क्यों बनाते हो, प्रमोशन दो वरना चला जाऊंगा, अप्रेजल देने पर भी वापस नहीं आऊंगा। बॉस हंसकर बोले, कोई नहीं, कोई बात, अभी और भी पप्पूज है मेरे पास। ये दुनिया पप्पुओं की बनी है, सबको बस आगे बढ़ने की पड़ी है। तुम नहीं तो किसी और से कराऊंगा, तुम्हारी तरह एक और पप्पू बनाऊंगा। राइट, द वर्ल्ड ऑफ पप्पूज। राइट, my apologies for that one, the world of pappus. So my point is, if somebody can work day and night 24/7, who am I to stop that? If somebody has that work ethic and somebody believes in that ideology, who are we to stop that? We live in a free world. We live in a world with free ideologies. We live in a world with free thinking. If somebody believes in toiling day and night to achieve a certain goal, who are we to stop that? Right? Now, to make that ideology into the thing could then be looking at a non-stop burnout on the people we lead. What we were talking about just now was servant leadership. And when we are talking about the servant leadership, we are talking about well-being of our employees and the people whom we lead. When we talk about well-being, we talk about professional and financial well-being for sure. Trust me, today people are professionally skilled. I'm sorry to say they're not professionally well. There's a difference between being professionally skilled and doing professionally, really going to the heights of your professional careers, but they don't feel well. Professional well-being, we talk about emotional well-being, we talk about spiritual well-being, we talk about mental well-being, we talk about physical well-being. Who is there to talk about professional well-being? Where a servant leader is creating a work ethic, a work ethos, which is concerned about the well-being of the people we lead professionally, financially, mentally, emotionally. Imagine a person who's a wreck. If somebody can take those long working hours and stay focused and stable, fantastic. Does everybody have that tenacity? Does everybody have that capacity? Does everybody have that bandwidth? Is an important question mark, right? So do the people whom we lead not also have the freedom, the liberty in a world and in a nation to live the life they want? I feel one of the biggest issues in the corporate world today is burnout. Massive burnout. When you just keep working without caring for your own self, you're pouring from an empty cup, ma'am. You're pouring from an empty jar. How long will you keep pouring? There's a limit to how much a human being can give. The human body has a limitation. The human mind has a limitation. We can give rest to our bodies by trying and squeezing in some 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep a day. Will we be able to give our minds that rest? And imagine a guy who's totally worked up, stressed, burnt out coming to work. What is the level of productivity? What is the level of efficiency? What is the level of effectiveness? So even look at it from the productivity, effectiveness and efficiency point of view. The mind needs rest. The mind needs a break. People need love. People need to spend time with their loved ones. People need to spend time doing what they love. People need to spend time taking a break. People need to spend time working on their minds, their emotions, their internal selves, their physical fitness. Then when they come back, the contribution is at its peak. So I think, I used to quote this shair by Bashar. He used to say, उन्हें कामयाबी में सुकून नजर आया, उन्हें कामयाबी में सुकून नजर आया तो वो दौड़ते गए. उन्हें कामयाबी में सुकून नजर आया तो वो दौड़ते गए. हमें सुकून में कामयाबी नजर आई तो हम ठहर गए.
Very well said.
You have a कामयाबी in सुकून and you have a सुकून in कामयाबी, right? So can we do without कामयाबी? No. You have to run. You have to chase. You have to hustle. You have to give your 200%. There's no debating that. But while doing that, if you don't find Kamyabi in Sukoon, right, you're finding Sukoon in Kamyabi, but if you don't find Kamyabi in Sukoon, that sitting still, that ability to unwind, that ability to be able to, I'll tell you, I want to ask I would love to take the statistic, how many corporates who work 16, 18 hours a day actually get deep sleep? Actually are well rested? How many people actually rest well? When they wake up, do they really wake up fresh? Do they really wake up completely energized? Do they really wake up saying, I want to look forward to that session at work? Or do they wake up like a zombie saying, another day, another deadline, another guy who's engaging in some politics against me there, another place where I have to give in 18 hours a day? Imagine the level of involvement and engagement in work, madam, dipping down. And which is exactly why I don't think it's about 70 hours or I don't think it's about 17 hours. It's about finding that right kind of balance. Going on either extremes is dangerous. Spiritual leaders will promote Shanti, peace, unwind, energize, sleep, take it easy. And who hustles then? And hustlers will promote hustle, run, keep going. And who cares care of your own self? Finding that balance is an individual responsibility. There'll be theories, there'll be ideologies, there'll be multiple things that are being promoted. You need to listen to your own voice. In this whole world that's drowning in so much noise, we are forgetting to listen to our voice. And therefore it's critical. Don't let the opinion and the noise of others drown us. There was a guy who was selling fish on the side of a road. He had a board there was written, fresh fish sold here. One guy came and said, we can see it's fresh, rub the fresh. So he rubbed the fresh, it said fish sold here. Another guy came and said, we know you're selling fish, not tomatoes, rub the fish. So he rubbed the fish, now it was sold here. A guy came and said, you're sitting in the marketplace, you're not giving it out for free, right? Rub the sole. So he rubbed the sole. It was only here left now. A schoolboy came and said, we can see you sitting here, not there. Rub the here. He rubbed the here, the board was empty. A guy came and said, Pagal hai tu? Board khali hai, kuch likhta kyun nahi? Right. There'll always be somebody who's going to say something, guys. The noise of the world's opinions is what creates ambiguity. Take what's best, but listen to your mind, your needs, your system, and chalk your way.
So how do the organizations and corporate leaders today prepare themselves for all the uncertainties that you began by talking about, businesses uncertainties, policy uncertainties, technology uncertainties as well? How do we prep to take on the world which is constantly changing?
Right. Thank you for that question. You can't change facts, can we? Facts are the way they are, the markets are the way they are today. Decisions made in some place influence us here, influence our markets, our personal lives, and the lives of people whom we lead in ways that we feel absolutely helpless. This is a point in time where a lot of people are feeling absolutely helpless for no fault of theirs. Now, there's a fact, but there's a way to look at that fact. Let me tell you a story from World War II. There was a gentleman who was taken to the concentration camp in Poland, Auschwitz. And when he reached the concentration camp, his family was brought. 3 of his family, his wife and kids, were killed in the concentration camp. This man would have been the next. The fact is, you're in the middle of absolute chaos and mayhem. You could be the next. You could be the next sacrificial guy on the altar of sacrifice. Everybody around there was looking at the fact that they could be killed and people are being killed, but they were looking at it through the lens of emotion. And when you look at it from the lens of emotion, you have a fact. You look at it through the lens of emotion. The emotion is what? Frustration. Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening around the world? Based on what you look at it from, you start telling stories in your head. Hitler's a terrible guy. I have been a God-minded person. Why is God doing this to me? Why is life treating me this way? The stories we tell. And based on the stories we tell, we have a certain feeling and experience, annoyance, anger, depression, frustration. And based on the feelings we have, we act or make decisions which are self-destructive. There was a gentleman who was brought there, whose 3 of his family members were killed. He saw the same fact. But he saw the fact not through a lens of emotion that why is this happening to me? He saw that fact through the lens of rational thinking. What can I do about it? Why has a lot of times not many satisfactory answers. What has a lot of satisfactory answers. As soon as he said, what can I do about it? He changed the stories in his head. Let me see what can I do. I want to get out of here. Everybody wants to get out of this mess currently. Everybody wants to deal with this Wooconomics, the VUCA world. He decided, based on the stories he told himself, his feeling was motivation, inspiration. He felt empowered. I need to act. And in this mayhem, he saw opportunity. Every single day, there was a truck that would come to pile dead bodies up and take them away. He kept noting the entire pattern. And one day when they came to take these dead bodies, he laid down there like a dead body, practically breathless, with very shallow breath. When the guy came there, he was lying there in stinking dead bodies. When the people came there to pick him up, he skipped a heartbeat. What if they get to know that I'm still alive? He stopped his breath further. They picked him up, dumped him on the truck, and guess what? He ran away to freedom. Which is exactly why facts should not be seen through a lens of emotion. Yes, we are human beings. Yes, we have emotions. When the markets go down, we have anger, we have frustration, we feel lost, there's uncertainty, we don't know when things are changing, we feel helpless, and we are all going to go through this. But to change it to a lens of rational thinking makes us feel empowered. And what rational thinking is about? Look at statistics in the history. COVID, the 2008 recession. We bounced back. Yeah. What says that we won't bounce back again? What says that we won't bounce back again, right? And therefore, Ghalib said something very interesting. He said, Guzar jayega ye daur bhi Ghalib, Guzar jayega ye daur bhi Ghalib, zara itminan to rakh. Jahan khushi hi nahi thehri, wahan gam ki kya auqat hai, right? This time will pass. It has passed in the past. Why will this not go? Lens of wisdom, lens of objectivity. First S is statistics. Second S is your scoreboard. Look into your past and look at your own score of how many challenges have you handled before. So many challenges came to you. You came out of it. What tells you that you won't come out of this one? Statistics, scoreboard. The third S is strategy. Looking at what are the controllables. There are a lot of uncontrollables in my hand and I can do nothing about it. It's like beating my head against the wall. The wall won't move, I'll hit my head. Looking at what is controllable is strategic. The fourth S is support. Seeking support from wise guides. Seeking support from mentors. Seeking support, emotional support from loved ones to pass through this phase. The fifth S is strengthening our purpose. Viktor Frankl in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, says that people who survived the concentration camp either focused on some loved one and they fought it back, or they focused on a goal to be achieved and fought it back, or they focused on a sense of duty and fought it back. It was purpose that kept them alive, strengthening your purpose. And last but not the least, the sixth S is spirituality, mindfulness, meditation, to calm down our mind so we move from the lens of emotion to the lens of rational and wisdom thinking.
Fantastic. 5 S's there. We can continue to go on listening to you and it doesn't feel like the time is passing at all. But the time's up. Thank you so much, Swamiji. It's been an absolute pleasure and honor to be speaking to you. I'm sure a lot of us will be taking back a lot of lessons. I want you to be here with us. And meanwhile, I'll request Mr. Dinesh Bhatia, Group CEO of India Today, to please come up on stage and felicitate Swamiji with the token of appreciation. If you could please get that on stage as well. Thank you so much, Swamiji. Thank you so much. Huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Volatility and